Could a strike by writers shift the power dynamics of the entertainment industry? Well, let's rewind the clock to the year 2007, when the Writers Guild of America, the union representing film, television, and radio writers, called for a strike that lasted for 100 days. This strike was neither a spur-of-the-moment decision nor a short-lived affair. It was a massive movement that rallied thousands of writers, echoing through the corridors of Hollywood and beyond. At the heart of this strike were three main issues: digital rights, residuals, and creative rights. Let's unpack these a little. Digital rights were a burgeoning issue as the internet was rapidly becoming a new platform for content distribution. With the advent of streaming and downloading services, writers argued for a fair share of the digital pie. Residuals, the payments made to writers for reruns and DVD sales, were another hot topic. As the industry shifted towards digital platforms, traditional sources of residual income were dwindling. Writers demanded a revision of the residual structure to keep pace with the changing landscape. The final bone of contention was creative rights. Writers sought greater control over their work, including the right to be consulted on matters such as casting, production, and marketing. They fought for the power to shape their content, rather than being mere cogs in the machine. The writers' strike was a seismic event that disrupted the entertainment industry's status quo. It halted television production, delayed film releases, and even affected the glitz and glamour of award shows. But beyond these immediate effects, the strike had far-reaching implications. It created a vacuum in the content production pipeline, a void that had to be filled. And in this void, new opportunities arose for entities willing to adapt and innovate. It was a catalyst that sparked a shift in the power dynamics of the entertainment industry. The writers' strike left an indelible mark on the entertainment landscape, paving the way for new players to emerge. To fully understand the ramifications, let's journey through the timeline of the strike. It all began in the fall of 2007, when the Writers Guild of America, both East and West, voted overwhelmingly in favor of a strike. This was not just a whim or a sudden outburst of discontent, but the culmination of increasing frustration over issues like residuals for new media and DVD sales. With the dawn of November, the strike officially began. This was no small event. It was a massive disruption that halted the production of many popular television shows and movies. Hollywood was, in essence, brought to a standstill. The once buzzing sets turned into ghost towns, and the echo of the writers' protest chants filled the air. As weeks turned into months, the strike's effects were felt far and wide. Award shows like the Golden Globes were reduced to press conferences, and late-night talk shows were left scrambling for content. The strike was not just a battle between writers and producers, it was a struggle that impacted everyone involved in the industry. After 3 long months, in February 2008, an agreement was finally reached. The writers won some concessions, notably with regards to new media residuals. But the landscape of the industry had been irrevocably changed. The strike had exposed the vulnerability of the traditional TV model, and in its wake, a new player emerged on the scene. This is where our story takes an interesting turn. During the strike, many viewers looking for fresh content turned to a then DVD rental service, Netflix. The company, seizing the opportunity, decided to venture into streaming, offering audiences a new way to consume content. The end of the strike marked a new beginning for the industry, with the rise of streaming platforms like Netflix. This was not just a chapter closing, but a whole new book being opened in the world of entertainment. Little did anyone know, this was just the beginning of a revolution that would change how we watch television forever. So, how did Netflix, a DVD rental service, become a major player in the post-strike landscape? Well, in the midst of the writers' strike, the television industry was in a bit of a pickle. New, fresh content was scarce, and audiences were hungry for entertainment. Enter Netflix, a company that back then was primarily known for mailing DVDs to people's homes. But Netflix saw the strike as an opportunity rather than a crisis. With new shows and movies on hold, Netflix turned to its vast library of existing content. They started promoting their catalog of older shows and movies, the ones that had been gathering digital dust on their servers. Titles that had once been pushed aside in favor of the latest blockbuster releases were now front and center, ready to be binged by a captive audience. This shift in strategy wasn't just about making the most of a bad situation, it was a calculated move. Netflix realized that, while they might not have had the latest episodes of hit shows, they had something arguably more valuable. A treasure trove of comfort viewing classics and hidden gems that many people hadn't seen or had long forgotten about. And guess what? People loved it. They loved the nostalgia, the variety, and the opportunity to discover new old favorites. The lack of fresh content elsewhere meant that Netflix's subscriber base began to grow. As viewers flocked to the platform, the company's reputation as a trusted provider of quality entertainment solidified. The writers' strike had disrupted the traditional television landscape, creating a void that Netflix was perfectly positioned to fill. And fill it they did. They leveraged the situation to their advantage, transforming from a simple DVD rental service into a major player in the streaming world. As it turned out, the writers' strike, which had seemed like such a disaster for the entertainment industry, was a blessing in disguise for Netflix. It had given them the chance to showcase their extensive library and attract a larger audience. The strike inadvertently provided Netflix with the perfect opportunity to evolve. So, as the saying goes, every cloud has a silver lining. For Netflix, the writers' strike was that silver lining. Netflix's transformation didn't stop at becoming a streaming service. It ventured into uncharted territory: original content. In 2013, Netflix took a bold step that changed the game forever. It launched its first original series, House of Cards. This wasn't just a new show, it was a daring move, a declaration of Netflix's intention to become a major player in the world of entertainment. It was Netflix saying, "We're not just here to stream content, we're here to create it." House of Cards was a gamble that paid off handsomely. The political drama, led by the formidable duo of Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright, was a hit. Critics praised it, viewers loved it, and it quickly became a cultural phenomenon. It was a testament to the fact that high-quality original content could be produced outside the traditional studio system. The success of House of Cards wasn't just a win for Netflix, it was a win for audiences around the world. They were now getting fresh, unique stories straight from the source. This was a platform that was willing to take risks, to push boundaries, and it was paying off. Netflix didn't rest on its laurels. The success of House of Cards spurred the production of more original content. From Orange is the New Black to Stranger Things, Netflix was churning out hit after hit. Each new show was an opportunity for Netflix to further establish its brand, to show the world what it was capable of. These weren't just shows, they were statements. Netflix was showing the world that it could compete with the big boys. It was no longer just a streaming service. It was a powerhouse of original content. It was setting the bar high, pushing the envelope, and audiences were responding. In the space of just a few short years, Netflix had transformed itself from a DVD rental service to a streaming giant, and now, a producer of high-quality original content. It was a transformation that few could have predicted, but one that has undeniably changed the face of entertainment. Netflix had now become a producer of quality content, competing directly with traditional studios. The writers' strike and Netflix's emergence changed the entertainment industry forever. Let's take a quick trip down memory lane and revisit the seismic shifts that rocked the world of entertainment. The writers' strike of 2007 and 2008 was a game-changer. It was a period that saw writers putting their pens down, demanding fair compensation for their work, and it inadvertently created a vacuum in the industry. In the midst of this chaos, a phoenix named Netflix rose from the ashes. Initially a humble DVD rental service, Netflix saw an opportunity amidst the turmoil and seized it. They made the bold move of transitioning to streaming, a decision that would prove to be transformative not just for Netflix but for the entire industry. This shift marked the birth of a new era, the era of original content. As traditional channels scrambled to fill their programming slots, Netflix started producing its own shows. Series like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black broke the mold, offering viewers fresh, innovative content that they could access anytime, anywhere. The aftermath of the writers' strike and Netflix's strategic evolution brought about a paradigm shift in the entertainment industry. Today, the influence of these events is still very much palpable. The industry has become more diverse, more competitive, and more innovative, with a focus on quality over quantity. Content creators have more freedom, viewers have more choices, and the idea of binge-watching has become a cultural phenomenon. The writers' strike, while disruptive, indirectly catalyzed a revolution. It was the spark that lit the fire of change, paving the way for Netflix to rise and reshape the landscape of entertainment. The strike highlighted the value of writers, underlining the importance of fair compensation and respect for their craft. So, as we look back at this transformative period, we can see how these events have indelibly shaped the industry and our viewing habits. In the wake of the writers' strike, Netflix emerged as a pioneer reshaping how we consume entertainment.